Good afternoon, everybody. It's Brad Kilgore here with another fun episode of America's Best Shops. And I'm here with my longtime friend, Laura Southerly. How are you today, Laura?
Doing great, Brad. Thank you.
Good, good. So, Laura is in Ohio, and this week I am in northern Oklahoma at Grand Lake of the Cherokees, I believe it's called. We're right on the lake. So, up here with family, and so grateful for that. And it kind of ties into what we're going to discuss today, and that's authenticity and just being authentic with your brand in kind of a fake world. You know, we live in a world now where half the time you can't tell if something is real or fake with AI. And that's one slippery part of the AI world. And Laura and I are very deeply ingrained into the positive aspects of how you can integrate AI into your business and enhance the things you do and supercharge and speed things up. So, with that, we'll just dive right in. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure you see some of the unauthentic things out there, Laura. Would you agree?
I agree. And it is amazing when AI is getting very, very good and it is making people pause to say, is this real? Is this not? And I think that's the one thing that while we work with our businesses, we want to really emphasize that we have the ability, they have the ability as business owners to really stay authentic and true by using their own phones or computers to take their own photos, the videos. And I know we'll go into that today, but AI is everywhere, but authenticity is rare. And that's what's going to start doing, separating us.
That's exactly right. Some of the things that Laura and I were talking about earlier when it comes to presenting your business in an authentic way is things that we already have talked about in the past, things that we can really speed up by using AI, whether that's for video, whether that's for images, whether it's for written content, your social media stuff. So there's lots of things that you can do out there, and probably the most basic that people know is using something like ChatGPT to write content. I lean more towards Google Gemini and those types of things. But even if you use some of these things for the foundation, like Laura mentioned, so you're not just looking at a blank screen. If you're trying to put together an article or a blog post for your business, you know, if you use AI to write some of these things, just go back through it and proofread it. Spend some time making it your own. It really hasn't changed when we did it before AI, meaning that you still had to put your own touch on it. But when it comes to the video piece and the image piece, now I'll be upfront that some of the AI tools can really make some cool looking images and even videos now for what really looks authentic or real of a repair shop or what have you, inside or outside or front desk at a shop. And so you can use those types of things, certainly, but make sure you're sprinkling in something that's real. And I know Laura had mentioned some of these things earlier. When you're doing just video or images, what are your thoughts, Laura?
I agree. In agriculture, it's a little difficult. The images tend to be a little bit off. It's not as easy to replicate and use. So it is easy to go out and take the photos so that it can clearly represent the seasons. So when it comes to finding the right image, it's hard. If we're just talking about some general such, if I wanted to pull in saying, if I'm doing a video mentioning ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, there's some be real, as we say, that can easily be pulled in. And those, of course, would be very acceptable to use. So I think that there are some options out there, but what starts setting everybody apart is if they go in to their own business and take pictures of their employee, take pictures of their projects, take before and after images. That is stuff that viewers will watch. They will check out. They want to see the next build. They want to see the improvements that the dealerships have made. So when we're looking at the industries that you and I both work in, it is just amazing what photos that we're able to take. Because I know we take a lot of pictures of cornfields, but each of them have their own story. So it still makes a difference.
That's right. Well, and some things that I've been asked recently is, okay, yes, I want to be more authentic. So I know I have a $1,000 computer in my pocket, or these that I've got now, it's a $2,000 computer in your pocket. So the bottom line is they'll take really nice photos. And what I get asked a lot is, okay, I've got it on my phone. Now, do I have to go get a cable and plug that into my computer to get it to my computer? Because I don't want to try to mess with it on this little device. So, a couple of quick tips on that would be you could connect your phone. Like for years, I've had Dropbox on my Android phone. I imagine you could do it on an iPhone too, where you literally, it's all connected. So anytime I take a photo, anytime I take a video, it just automatically uploads right to Dropbox. So that way, when I come back to my office and I'm on my laptop or my desktop computer, I go into Dropbox.com and there are all the photos and videos. I can then take them and do what I want with them. So I know there's some other tricks that we had talked about. What was the other ones about live or something, Laura?
Well, you can do when we're talking about, because something that tends to trip people up is the fact, to your point, do I have cables? Where is it going to reside? It's on my phone. I want to edit and stuff. But if you do Facebook Live or YouTube Live, and YouTube does allow you to have a practice mode. So click it on to practice if you feel that that's where you want to start. But on a Facebook Live, you're live and then it's done. So it makes it very nice because, again, you're authentic, you're showcasing whatever it might be or what question you may have just received as a business owner or a tech. You're able to answer those questions live, have it recorded, and then you're not worried about editing, uploading, having a team to finish it, polish it, or whatever. So it really allows to streamline. And to your point, I love that tip about Dropbox, the fact that you can have it automatically loaded up to whether it be your Google Drive, the cloud. There are other ways to get it from your phone to a computer so you can visualize it on a bigger screen if you do want to do some sort of editing, or as we're doing here with Riverside recording today, you'd be able to get shorts from
Yep.
it quickly.
Yep. Yep. We use Riverside for our video shows. So we record at Riverside, and I would imagine some of the other ones have mobile apps. So I've used Riverside before where when I'm on my phone only, I can then go and shoot it in Riverside just from my phone. And then when I come back, the recording is resides in the software. And then, like Laura mentioned, you can then, it will use some AI things to create shorts, add subtitles. You can add your logos, you can add B roll, you can do a lot. And so those are really cool ideas and tricks that you can do because, I think that most everybody wants to do something that's quick and efficient, but looks good and authentic. And the other part of it is if you are just taking photos, for example, we know you can edit video, and that's one cool thing about Riverside and some of the other ones is you can edit them with photos. You can use AI tools like Google Gemini has Nano Banana. There's a couple other ones out there, Grok, that where you can take a photo. Let's say it's something where you're really trying to stay authentic to your showing your team or your office or your shop or whatever it is. But you can then take that photo and use an AI tool to remove things from it, to enhance things, to pop your logo on there. You can really stay authentic, but then enhance, remove, make everybody in a red Valentine's Day suits, but it's still your team, so it's still authentic, but it's fun. So you know, Nano Banana, even if you text somebody a photo and they get it, then they can hit the button and it'll say remix. So you could literally say, I want it to be the 1990s style, or I want it to be 1880s and Little House on the Prairie, or whatever it is. And it will take the images and the faces and enhance it to where it's fun. And it's still you guys, still you and your crew. But there's just so many cool tricks that you can use now just to break it up. We want to stay authentic, but sometimes it's cool to have fun too, don't you think?
Absolutely. And we've had a lot of fun with, like you said, the different trends and dropping people into their Christmas sweaters, and having things that the one thing that we recommend is that if you do have a video, or excuse me, not a video, but a photo that you altered, such as putting Christmas sweaters, depending on which system you use, in the lower right hand corner, there tends to be an icon. Keep the icon if you can, just because then it does tag it as an AI image so that people will know that you are authentic, but yes, you enhanced it with some AI. So that tends to help too.
And I think the authenticity bleeds over into the overall scheme of things. When you're
Mhm.
when you're dealing with humans face to face in a service business. And that's where authenticity and being real and treating people how you like to be treated is one of the number one aspects. I've been around a lot of successful business owners, shop owners, and what have you. And at the end of the day, it really boils down to, owning the good, but owning the stuff that's not so good. If
Right.
nobody's perfect, you're running a high volume shop, for example, stuff will break. Stuff will not go as planned sometimes. And so instead of trying to act like it wasn't your fault, or because sometimes it's not your fault, but I mean, there are times where you just have to own it, and then that dials into Google reviews or different things like that. If somebody is unhappy, and they've voiced it, whether that's face to face or whether it's online, just keep it real because it may not always go well. And no matter what you do, you cannot please everybody. But I think that it still shows that you have credibility if you are upfront about, hey, we made a mistake, we did our best to make it right, and, you know, we'll learn from our mistakes. And I think that people in general, when they see some of those things like Google review responses and that type of thing about those pieces, they can see that you're doing your best and you are an authentic, real life person, and that goes a long ways, I think.
Definitely, the authentic content, it converts better because people wanna work with people. It helps with decision making, and to your point, is they know that owning a business can be very difficult. There's long hours, there's lots of different things that are thrown on everybody's plate all the time. So, again, if you're just being authentic and putting that out there and having that conversation, we're not saying that you put everything online, but again, if you're working through a project, a build or something, and you ran into issues, if you're actually able to talk it through and then say, we'll be providing an update as we've finished this project. One, they're engaged. They want to hear what comes of it. And two, you might have brought forth a problem that they've run into themselves that now they know you figured it out and you're able to, they'll reach out to you to have you work on their automotive, or your vehicle, whatever might be the project.
That's right. That's right. And so I think, as we continue with our show weekly, we do our best to really bring you new ideas of what's happening in the world of AI and marketing, what's happening of how people can improve their business and their shop. But I like to throw in these other pieces where we're still mentioning the AI aspects of it, but we're also bringing in the part about being real, because Laura and I both been in business for decades, and we've seen the ups and downs in our businesses, and it's no different whatever business you have. So if you're watching today, hopefully it was helpful. Hopefully you can see that we truly do care, and we try to bring every bit of knowledge and experience that we can. We certainly don't know it all. We'll be the first to admit, but hopefully you get some value out of this. Share the link with your friends. Subscribe. We'll do our best to bring you something new every week that will hopefully make a difference for you in your business. So, Laura, it was great having you today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And we'll catch everybody next week.